Looking backward, I can see a little table, 2 cane-bottomed chairs, and a second-hand typewriter in one corner of the county agent's office in the basement of the courthouse in Columbia. A little sign on the table read, "The Tennessee Farm Bureau." It was a good thing the sign was there, else we might have been overlooked.
Here we are on one of the farms that helped start a revolution. 100 years ago, Joe Frank Porter, the hard-working, church-going leader that he was, cared deeply for his family and this ground here in Maury County. And it was he and hundreds of others across the volunteer state that stepped up to unite their voices and form the Tennessee Farm Bureau Federation.
I think his aim was to better farmers, to do whatever it took to help farmers.
I think one of the biggest accomplishments that happened to me in the Farm Bureau in Tennessee in that time was our confidence that we built in the state legislature.
We're just so proud of our leadership that we've had all of these years, and we've grown and keep growing and hopefully grow right on in the future.
We have a great nation. We have a great organization. And think with me, we have enough people in Tennessee Farm Bureau to help change directions.
To develop, foster, promote, and protect programs for the general welfare, including economic, social, educational, political well-being of the farm people of the great state of Tennessee. Now that's a long mission statement, but that mission statement has been in effect since February 1923, and it's still very relevant and on target today. So let us not forget our mission.
It's a great blessing to be affiliated with an organization that works to try to improve the lives of farmers in rural Tennesseans, actually all Tennesseans.
The legacy of Farm Bureau lives strong a century later. Through generations, the organization has grown to become the largest in the nation, and its one mission has remained unchanged through 10 decades.
Welcome to the golden anniversary meeting of the Tennessee Farm Bureau Federation.
A decision not to belong to Farm Bureau is a highly unprofitable one for any size farmer.
But if we hadn't had Farm Bureau, the legislature wouldn't have done near what they've done for agriculture.
I'm proud of my grandfather. I'm really proud of what he did for farm families across the state.
I've had the opportunity to be on stage with Joe Frank Porter in 1949 at the winning chorus thing. I met him, never was a personal friend of his, but I've known and have had the opportunity to work for every president of the Tennessee Farm Bureau.
The leadership has been consistent, it's been effective, it's been a joint effort by dedicated leadership in all the organizations involved.
Farm Bureau has been the voice of agriculture since its beginning, and it remains that beacon of hope today and for the future.
I imagine that the guys, if they were still around from 100 years ago that started it, they would be blown away by even what we're doing now.
I think it's very special that Farm Bureau is turning 100 years old today, because I can remember my grandparents and parents being involved in it, and so they were there kind of in the earlier stages, and to see what the company or the Farm Bureau organization has developed into over that 100 years is pretty impressive.
If you're not represented, if you're not at the table, you're just going to be taken advantage of. And we can just trust Farm Bureau to do what needs to be done.
I don't think that anybody really knows what Farm Bureau does until they get involved with it. And it's just amazing what all they can do for the farmers. If a farmer needs help and he can't get anything done, Farm Bureau can usually come in and help.
Farm Bureau is a grassroots organization, and it represents my interests one-on-one, whether I have a problem with issues in the state, county, or national.
It's awesome to see an agriculture organization proudly be able to say that we've been involved and been around for 100 years and still as active and influential today as we were 100 years ago.
To last this 100 years, we're still very relevant. I think the young or the founders of the organization would be proud of where we are today. I really believe that, and glad that Farm Bureau is relevant as they are.
When you reach a milestone of 100 years, you persevered through a lot.
It's such a grassroots organization too. I think that's what's so important. It can include everybody if they want to have input into the policies and all that the Farm Bureau, supports.
A lot of organizations have probably come and gone since that time, even when they began. And it was created out of a need, and the need is still here.
It's quite an accomplishment for any kind of organization to still be in business and still conducting is what I think probably our forefathers had anticipated when they organized 100 years ago.
You guys are a beacon, an example of how business and service should be done.
Farm Bureau's dedication not only to Maury County but to the state of Tennessee is seen in the bills that we passed up there, making sure that we protect agriculture, we continue to move it forward.
Farm Bureau is that connecting piece between what we do here and what happens out in the field when it comes to agriculture.
It's a tremendous accomplishment, and I expect to be there another 100 years if the world stands.
It's a remarkable landmark and shows longevity and service and the respect that farmers have in our communities and with the Farm Bureau.
To reach your centennial, that 100th anniversary, what an accomplishment.
I feel like Farm Bureau's been successful for 100 years because they've got the right mission. They've got the right work ethic, they've got the right idea. Without Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture would be pretty quiet.
Thank you for your support of our most important industry, and congratulations on 100 years of service to Tennesseans across our state.
So we have a great history, 100 years of history within Farm Bureau, and we can take great pride in all the successes that have happened during those 100 years, but also a responsibility that comes with that for us as today's leaders to ensure that that continues into the future.